Born in Chicago, received a Bachelor in Drama from Clark College in Iowa. Received a Master's in Theater at the University of Miami. Professor, met her husband while performing with him at Starlight Theater in Kansas City. Please give it up for Barbara.
Thank you. Wow.
She told me yesterday I ran into her at the airport when he arrived, and she said, I feel like queen of the day.
2 or 3 days. Fantastic.
So-
First of all, can I just say thank you to the Creative Coalition and to Rob. This is one of the highlights of my life.
So, first impression of Rob when you first meet him.
Oh boy, you asked the right question. The first impression was of this kid, I can still see him, with a motorcycle helmet slung over the back of his seat. I thought, this one's different. We're going to be in for a ride. And it was, because his talent was obvious from the first. First of all, I got to explain, I've got this thing that I've acquired over the years called essential tremor, so forgive the shakiness. Anyway, his talent was obvious immediately. First part he played was Scrooge. Do you remember playing Scrooge?
Loved it.
Yes.
It's still my finest moment. Looking back to that, get that purity.
But actually, his best moment was the audition for Fiddler on the Roof, which was the first musical that I directed at the high school. And he came in, which was unheard of, with the whole "If I Were a Rich Man" memorized perfectly, performance ready. And I thought, oh God, I died going to heaven. So he was terrific in that. And as I say, he was a very self-directed student. I'm getting some perhaps
Stubborn.
undue credit here because he was extremely self-directed. And then you also went to audition for Porky's. I think, remember that Porky's? Was it Porky's? The movie, Porky's. Yeah, this was also unusual, totally self-directed. Okay, so I'm getting credit for this. I don't really know why.
Well, we're gonna find out.
But if you want me to tell a couple of stories on him. This Fiddler on the Roof. We had a principal at that time who was a former admiral. You know the type, okay? He looked like Colonel Sanders. And he would patrol the halls, you know, checking all the rooms out and so forth. The week we're to open with Fiddler on the Roof, he calls me into the office. He says, guess who I found smoking in the boys' bathroom? I don't know whether we ought to let this show go by. So I said, oh, please, you've got, of course, he was pulling, he just wanted me to suffer a little bit and pass it on to you. So, in any case, of course, he let the show go on. He didn't even really, this principal, it was a new school, it was the first year. This principal didn't even want, was hesitant about letting me direct this show. But thanks to your performance, and the rest of your classmates who rose to the occasion, we were home free. Before I pass this back to you, I just wanted to say that what Rob didn't know, and the rest of the students didn't know, was this was my first year of teaching. Wow. So I was, very apprehensive about the whole thing. And quite honestly, I started out as a performer. Teaching is not what I thought I was going to be doing. my mother was the practical sort who said, you have a minor in education. You know, if you're going to go off this theater thing, you're going to minor in education. Okay, so I did. Never really realizing that I was a teacher. Came time for my first child to go to college. And so I was going back to get my master's degree and learning how to be a teacher. And guess what? My first day in class, thanks to students like you, I discovered this was like what I was born to do. I was told that there would be crying here today. I was But in any case, I've had, besides having my 4 beautiful children, one is sitting in front here, and my granddaughter with me, who were here to enjoy this occasion with me. I've had a very blessed life teaching students. So I thank you for bringing me here and for the life that I had in teaching.
Rob, where was that one instant? What was that instant when you said she is changing something? She's influencing me, inspiring me, and on a level that I'm going to carry on.
Well, so as she suggested, I was definitely a ne'er-do-well. I mean, headed for jail. You know, a lot of petty, stupid. We used to call them juvenile delinquents. I was in that category, and somehow right before I went into class, I saw the movie Grease, and I had this epiphany, and I thought, oh, I'm going to be an actor, and I showed up in Barbara's class, and at that point, I didn't go to school, and I rarely showed up, but I started showing up for drama class, and somehow, and I don't know how, through these myriad of indulgences, she was able to keep me in school, and the only thing I did was drama class, basically. I cut all morning, and then I'd come to drama class, and I'd leave. And somehow, with a little wink and a nod, I got the sense that, not necessarily that I would, be successful or anything like that, but that this was something that I was, naturally inclined toward. And it was just, and she wasn't demonstrative, she made a point of not being that way, but definitely let me know in subtle ways, keep going. And this became this raison d'etre for me, because I had had no real guidance until that point, no real focus at all. And because of her, I became, like a laser. And it was the first time in my life at 15 that I had something that I was really passionate about. And, I went and pursued it. And, she put me in all these plays, and I ended up getting the lead parts, which reinforced a kind of confidence. I still, to this day, want to go and do a revival of Fiddler on and she was, it was amazing about Barbara was that because she was an actress and so passionate about the art and the craft, at that early age, we were all very vulnerable, she kind of was the first one to instill in me the notion of truth in the work, and that's something I wrestle and strive for, to this day. And did that answer your question?
Yeah. What would you say was one of your greatest challenges as an educator?
What a provocative question that is.
I wrote it myself.
Gee, I don't know. All I know is every day was a new challenge. Every day presented its new challenges. And that was, and continues to be, what's exciting about it. You talk about moment-to-moment acting. It's the same thing with teaching. You hope that you're going to have the right thing to say to the student at the right time. That, I guess, is the biggest challenge. You don't want to. You want to give critique back to the students, which of course they expect and they need. Sometimes they don't like, without being discouraging at the same time. So I guess that's probably the biggest challenges.
Well, I can relate to in so many levels that when I used to ditch math class just so I can go to the drama room, and oftentimes I was a total teacher's pet, but I can relate in the sense that, when you find that call, you make this your passion. That moment when you left school and you left the comfort zone of being in the classroom, and then you went into the world and said, okay, now this is 100%. I'm going to be a professional actor. Was there an instinct where you second guessed yourself and you said, is this something I should really do, or should I be more reasonable?
Yeah, that was this morning. No, the cool thing about doing what I did at that age was I was stupid enough to think that I could do it. I went to college for about 30 seconds. I had to take out all these loans, and I was just interested in meeting girls and getting drunk. And again, I thought I'm going to go to New York and I'm going to try it. And I think in retrospect, obviously it worked out. But if I had to do it again, I don't know if I would have, knowing what I know about the world and the business, I don't know if I would have done that. And there's something about just, again, I attribute it to Barbara. She gave me that, it's not like I was so confident, like, oh, I'm going to go and do it, but enough so that I stepped out and found the way. And
yeah, it's beautiful to see that. One of the things that I guess as entertainers and as I'm sure as educators, we've never actually forgotten what we have in common with not only our audiences and our students, and that is that we used to be young once, and to be able to have that vocabulary, to be able to have that dialogue, that language, really, as you say, is really special, and we all want to be remembered. And it's beautiful to see you bring an educator that's definitely made you that laser beam and made you the professional that you are today. I'm excited to come to this point where you're now gonna, please award her with this award, and in your words, please tell her, what she means to you, and the reason why you remember her so well.
Cool. It's pretty, right?
Beautiful.
Well, I am proud and honored to be standing up here with my first drama teacher, Barbara Lowery, who inspired in me the possibilities that I might be able to have a life in being an artist. And for all the ups and downs, I'm so grateful to be able to spend my life trying to create and be part of art. And I know, I remember you used to get so pissed at me. You used to get so upset with me because I was such an idiot. But every time she would just cut it with a little subtle glance that just made me think, okay, it's all right, And this is my weird, for whatever reason, this is my journey, and I just want to thank you for inspiring me, and the many others who you have and still do, and for your love of the craft that I know you still have and practice, and I want to thank you on behalf of the Creative Coalition for doing this, and myself for giving me this career.
One of the things I think surprised me with today is the fact that he had sent me a couple of letters once he went to New York. Once he left school, as he told you, he left rather abruptly with his desire to go to New York. I got called into the principal's office, and the assistant principal said to me, "Did you encourage this young man to go to New York?" Like, trying to save my job, But luckily, I had this lovely letter from Rob. And I want to read it to you because it shows you how self-directed he was at this age, how humble and how responsible he was to send a letter like this to his former teacher. I guess you can't hold it anything. Here, okay. He says, I realized very quickly how much I did not know about acting. For example, sense memory, scene study, and improv. I plan to study on and off Broadway stage, and if I am lucky, even Broadway someday. My goal is feature films, but I don't plan to go out west for at least 5 to 10 years. Does this sound like a guy who has a plan? I have also realized the odds of success in this field I have chosen. They're at least 5 million to 1, but I am not going to quit. I would not recommend this life to anyone. All of the money I make working, except for rent, goes into either acting school or pictures or books on acting. I just finished a book you recommended to me, An Actor Prepares. It was excellent. I mean, how about that? So this got me off the hook with the assistant principal. And I think it indicates what kind of a guy we got out here.